Welcome back, folks, and thank you for tuning into your daily silver news. We're going to be covering an article that came out today, fresh off the press from FX Empire, talking about silver forecast, Fed silence, and trade uncertainty stall silver rally. So we're just going to be going over what's happening with the price of silver, and this is why it's so important to subscribe, because on a daily basis, you're going to be updated on what's happening with the price of silver, wrapped up in a shiny YouTube video for you. I'll do all the work for you. Plus, you have opportunities to get free silver shipped straight to your front doorstep by just clicking one button, and that button is subscribe. I'll be doing an entry video very soon, so make sure you click the bell as well so you get notified as soon as the entry video goes live and you don't miss it. Every time I do a giveaway, someone mentions that they missed it or that, they wish they would have seen the entry video or whatever, so make sure you don't miss it, folks. My giveaways are very, let's say, generous, to say the least. I don't just give away 1 or 2 ounces. They're pretty big giveaways. So also, if you wanted to purchase precious metals instead of just hoping that you win one of my giveaways, I have a very trusted, respected, and just great company that you guys can purchase from. Email info@milesfranklin.com. Let them know Slayer sent you. They'll hook you up with a broker. I know them all, great people. They will send you a price sheet, and you can choose from there. We have weekly specials. It's just a great company. Andy Scheckman's the CEO, and you guys love Andy, so it's just a great company to support. Plus, it helps me out as well. So I'll link this article in the description from FX Empire. This is daily stuff. Right now, silver's steady near $33 as traders await Fed signals in next week's critical U.S. jobs report. So that's why prices are steady, but there is going to be some stuff happening over the next week that's going to affect the price of silver. So you gotta be subscribed, because I will update you on what happens with the Fed and all that, and then how that's going to affect the price. A trade court blocks Trump's tariffs, boosting silver's industrial demand outlook and global trade sentiment. April's PCE data shows inflation cooling, but Fed remains cautious, holding off any rate shift guidance. So silver holds firm as trade and Fed uncertainty dominate market tone. I also wanted to mention, before we get into this next section, please like the video and comment down below your thoughts on these articles. I love throwing in my 2 cents, but it's also just, it's really special when the audience gets involved in the conversation as well, especially because a lot of you, know just as much, if not more, than I do. Just because I'm the one making the video doesn't mean I'm the know-it-all smartest guy in the room. A lot of you have been stacking a lot longer than I have, and you have some good insight. So let's all have the conversation in the comment section. And no one's gonna always agree with everything I say. I wouldn't want that, right? Whole point is to talk about this, throw our ideas out, our opinions in a respectable fashion. Of course, that's not always the case, but it's just my opinions. So silver prices closed the week near $33, holding steady but lower as traders weighed mixed inflation data, ongoing tariff uncertainty, and limited guidance from the Federal Reserve. The precious metal remains supported by broader concerns around U.S. fiscal conditions and global industrial demand, but the absence of a clear catalyst left the market in a state of pause. And that's exactly, what silver's doing right here. But now we have this tariff policy reversal boosts industrial demand outlook. Oh, by the way, if you didn't see my video yesterday, pause this video right now and go watch it. It is breaking news, shocking news. Sometimes I make a video and it's just like, man, if anyone was going to watch my videos recently, I hope it's that one. Because Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, just posted some huge news that could affect and would affect all of us. Not only just the stackers, but everyone. And it would go into effect July 1st, 2026. He just set this bill in motion. Go check out what that bill is. It is absolutely incredible. I sent the Andy Scheckman lives in Florida, so I shot him over the news, and he said that is a massive deal. You have to go see what is going on. So go check out that video as well. Very important. I posted it yesterday. Breaking news. That's why you got to be subscribed to my channel. Not for my sake, for your own, because a lot of times you'll miss stuff. A lot of these other channels aren't posting every single little thing that happens, but I try to my best. Nothing really slips through the cracks around here. So a major development this week, and by the way, slips through the cracks of important stuff. Obviously, like little things, maybe I won't cover it, but all the important stuff you need to know, you're going to get it here. So it's your one-stop shop. So a major development this week was a U.S. trade court ruling that blocked former President Trump's planned tariffs under emergency authority. While initially triggering a defensive bid in the dollar, the legal setback shifted sentiment towards reduced risk trade, or trade risk. So for silver, with over half of its global demand linked to industrial uses such as photovoltaics and electronics, the prospect of sustained tariff relief bolsters expectations for stronger overseas demand. However, the appeals process has added a layer of unpredictability, keeping risk appetite in check. But even with this appeals process, the amount of silver we need and the amount of the lack of silver we've been seeing, or these deficits, no type of appeal or anything to that nature is going to affect the bigger picture. Maybe to a small percentage, but nothing that's actually going to affect the massive incoming silver shortage that we're experiencing and how that would affect the price of silver. So April's PCE inflation data, the Federal Reserve's preferred measure, came in slightly below expectations. Headline inflation rose 0.1% month over month, with the annual rate at 2.1%. Core PCE also moderated to 2.5%. But despite this, the Fed officials maintained their cautious stance, offering no new policy direction. Elevated Treasury yields continued to weigh on interest-sensitive assets, limiting investor enthusiasm for silver despite easing inflation pressures. Consumer data signals slower momentum but rising savings. April's consumer spending slowed 0.2% down from 0.7% in March. I don't want to cover all that type of stuff. Let's talk about the big stuff, the meat and potatoes. All eyes are on the U.S. jobs data and Fed speakers. This is where the price will actually be affected to a notable degree. So traders are now preparing for next week's slate of key data, including the ISM Manufacturing Index on Friday's U.S. non-farm payrolls report. Labor market strength will be closely watched for signs of inflation pressure and potential Fed policy recalibration. Several Fed officials are also scheduled to speak, and any shift in tone could influence expectations for rate cuts later this year. And by the way, remember, all of this is very speculative. So even if they say that we are aiming for, or, our goal is to, take that with a grain of salt, because things are changing very rapidly nowadays. So silver remains fundamentally supported by softening inflation, improving trade conditions, and ongoing fiscal concerns. However, without a clear monetary policy signal, or decisive macro trigger, the market's likely to remain range-bound. Next week's economic releases and Fed commentary could provide the direction traders have been waiting for. Like I mentioned, that's going to be really what affects the price to a notable degree. Until then, expect cautious positioning with an upside bias. Technically, uptrend remains intact, with silver holding well above the 52-week moving average at 31.03. The current consolidation suggests traders are waiting for a bullish catalyst. Friday's closes placed the market in a position to test a pair of tops at 34.59 and 34.89. Essentially, we're looking at a 50-day moving average support and swing top resistance until there's major news event to fuel a breakout. Some pretty major news was, I don't know if you guys saw what happened today, but Russia got pretty bamboozled with drones that they drove back in from Ukraine. These drones were hiding in the tops of these trucks. The Russian trucks, they didn't know the drones were in there from Ukraine, drove back in, and the drones, obviously, once they were back in Russia, opened up and blew up a lot of stuff. Pretty crazy. I'm sure there's going to be a huge retaliation, but it was pretty detrimental. They blew up like 61 or some insane number of their of their bombers or something, or one of the jets. I don't know what it was. I didn't really look that deep into it, but I just quickly saw that news. I forget exactly. You guys can comment down below if you remember exactly what the number was or what was actually hit, but it was pretty detrimental. That happened today. So of course, over the next couple of days, we'll see what pans out, what plays out, and how that would affect the economy, and that could always trickle down to precious metals prices as well, especially if this triggers something much bigger. But anyways, yeah, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. We can actually look at the price chart of gold and silver. So silver's 33.01, great entry point. If you guys wanted to get in, you guys can obviously see what happened. $50 silver 2011, and now it's this gradual approach upwards, and that's what you want to see. You don't want it to shoot. See these two blue candlesticks, how big that is? You don't want that, because that means there's going to be a huge drop. See, you want it to gradually grow up, so then prices can stabilize and stay at these higher levels, because if not, then you're just going to see huge corrections happen, and a lot of people losing money, because a lot of people buy up here where all the hype is. Everyone's talking about it. It's on the news. Friends, family, squirrel outdoor. Everyone knows about it. Everyone is talking about silver. They hop on the silver bandwagon, not understanding what's happening or why silver has value. So then as soon as it drops, then they sell, thinking that they made a mistake, not knowing why they're investing into it. And you got to understand why. You have to, or you're probably going to lose out or lose money at the sight of anything, because you don't have faith in it. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. I love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to check out the video I posted yesterday from Governor Ron DeSantis, what he posted in motion and how that would affect price, not only silver's price, but just everything, honestly, because you'll see what I mean. I don't want to spoil too much. Just go check out what the video is about, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, anyways, make sure to subscribe. Don't miss the entry video, folks. Every time people are comment saying they missed it or they wish they would have entered. If you want to purchase some precious metals, info@milesfranklin.com. Let him know Slayer sent you. It helps me out. Andy loves to hear it, and it's a great company. You'll be hooked up. Great stuff. Weekly specials. Ask what the specials are this week, or maybe opening Monday. Ask what they are. A lot of inventory as well. Huge, massive inventory. Way more than most companies. So yeah, anyways, thanks for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.